Let's get it, YouTube. How's everybody doing? It's a Monday morning. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. So today, we're talking about sports. One of my favorite things is sports. We got a couple people we talking about. We're talking about Jerry Jones from the Cowboys. He's the owner. Then we're talking about Micah Parsons, one of the greats on that field. Then we're talking about Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, and Gillie the kid of $1 million worth of game. I call him Gillie the kid. He's a Eagles fan from Philly, representing his team very well. I ain't mad at him. But let's get on back over here to them Cowboys. How about them Cowboys, y'all? That's America's team. Now, we got an owner that pretty much acts pretty strange. Most people know about Jerry Jones' antics over the years, how he treats his players, how he talks about them. He even threw Dez Bryant in the mix. Dez been retired for years. He throwing him in the mix on something he don't have nothing to do with. He done threw Jay-Z up in the mix with this. Y'all need to check it out because, boy, oh boy, lines are being drawn in the sand. But I'm just gonna speak back on Jerry Jones because I've watched Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones has one of the top tier premier football teams in the history of the NFL. They make the most money most years. On paper, they usually have the best team because they do be picking some good players. Now, don't get it twisted. But the problem with the Cowboys, how they say it's got to be said, is the owner Jerry Jones. He won't lay back and delegate and let other people do what it needs to take that team to a championship. Many, many years, the Cowboys really ain't been in the race. Ain't really been sitting at the table with the big kids. And that's all because of Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones doesn't want anybody to get any credit but him. And he doesn't realize when you put a good team on the field, you put good coaching on the field, you make sure your facilities are top notch, you winning. And you getting much flavor. You getting good flavor because you are allowing the people that you hire, you're saying to them, I don't trust you. I don't trust your decisions, so I'm going to be micro managing and I'm going to override your decisions. The players are going to look at you as a joke because I can come in anytime and change everything up. He's inhibiting, Jerry Jones is inhibiting his team from being in the Super Bowl, winning playoff games because his ego. I understand you wanting to be out front. That I understand. But let me tell you something how to be out front for real, and it really makes sense, is if your team is a winning team. Them Cowboys over there, now, I'm a Detroit Lion fan all day, every day. Go Lions. Boom. Whether they winning or whether they losing. Them my boys. I've had the opportunity to meet some of those teams. I think I told a story a while ago. had the Detroit Lions team over my sister's house, okay? Eating Thanksgiving dinner after they lost the game. I let them have it because I am a real fan of the Lions, and not just of the Lions, but of football in general. I used to watch every college game. I used to watch every NFL game. I even used to keep up on the kids in high school, knowing their stats, if they going to go to college, what type of person they was in the community. Even if our Detroit Lions players, some of our top players, bam, I'm keeping up with them because I was proud of them for, even though we had a losing team, that they still was producing at a high level. That's why they were able to get awards. Look at Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders had one of the worst front lines that I consider in history. That's why I consider him the top running back in history. Now, if he had a front line, then maybe other people would be able to come into that conversation. But because he had to make all those moves instantaneously with his mind and his feet at the same time, that's what makes him the best. That's debatable. Talk to me about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. But let's get back to Jerry Jones and this good old Cowboy team. I understand, Jerry, that you the man. You the man. You got that bread. You can make decisions. You do make decisions. That's part of your thing. But let somebody else handle that football. Let them, the people that's going to be surrounding the players, let them build these relationships with these players to make sure that they hold them accountable for what they're doing on and off the field. Yes, your behavior off the field dictates behaviors on the field. If you're sloppy outside, you're going to be sloppy on the field. But let them do their job, Jerry. You doing your job. You're procuring the money. You got your radio show. You know, boo. You got about 16 jobs, Jerry. You got 16 jobs. So concentrate on making sure that you get the right players, but let your people have some input into it too, because ain't nothing wrong with sharing the limelight. Yeah, you picked them, they picked them, the scouts picked them, all that. Everybody, this should be a team effort, so everybody can feel included. You make people feel like that you the slave master, and they the slaves, and what you say just go, period. But you got to remember, in order for somebody to perform for you at their highest level and run through brick raw walls, you got to bring yourself down. We ain't saying bring yourself down all the way to their level, because they don't have the money you have. They don't have the power. They don't have the position. They don't have that. But let them feel good about being a cowboy. Let them feel good about being a real cowboy, because they not feeling good being a good cowboy. That's why they be messing up on the field. See, people don't realize when you dog them out, you talk about them, you treat them like crap, yeah, they gonna say yes, sir, and no, sir, and, they gonna act like they doing their job. But some of them balls that be dropped on purpose. See, when you treat people right, they gonna treat you right. You don't treat them right, yeah, they not gonna hit them routes. Yeah, they gonna let somebody hit the quarterback. Yep, they gonna let somebody hit the quarterback. Most people don't let nobody hit their quarterback. But if you treat them right, they run through a wall for you. I always tell people about the honey and the vinegar. You get more with honey than you do with vinegar. I'm not mad at you, Jerry, for making your money. I'm not mad at you for putting that good team together. No, nobody not mad at you for that, Jerry. Ain't nobody jealous. No, ain't nobody jealous. We happy that the Cowboys is the Cowboys. Yeah, we may have some debate about it being America's team, right? That's always gonna be a debate out there for many people. But let your fans be able to be happy. Your fans ain't even happy, but they supporting y'all. I don't know how you supporting a owner that be talking about y'all players the way that he be talking about them. And you talking about he was negotiating Micah Parsons' new contract without the agent, because you took him to the Super Bowl. You thinking that's contract negotiations because you did this and you did that with him, or you allowed him to be with you guys, right? Because that's the case of this situation. You allowed him to be around you guys. You were thinking, oh yeah, I'm tricking him. He doesn't even know that I'm negotiating. We supposed to be talking about leadership in the Cowboy facilities, in the locker room, on the field, on the away games. We supposed to be talking about that in this meeting. But instead, you played the trickery role. So people not respecting you, Jerry, like that. They respecting you in certain ways because you've earned that. You've been out there. You the man. We can't say that you're not the man, because you really is the man. But let your team and let your fans be happy. Lay back, get your little cigar if you smoke, and enjoy watching what you built. You built an empire. You built a legacy. You built, hey, how they say, you built the Taj Mahal. But you not letting nobody enjoy it. You can't even enjoy it because you not winning Super Bowls. Super Bowls dictate your legacy. Super Bowls say your team is the best, and that's your team is America's team because you're winning. Everybody I see people be getting Cowboy jerseys, ain't even Cowboy fans. You're making money, Jerry. You're making it hand over fist. Your great grandkids, they good. But let your fans, your staff, and your players stop acting like you a dictator. We know you the top. Everybody in that organization, everybody over at ESPN, Fox, it don't matter who covers your team. They know Jerry. And you're never going to be forgotten, Jerry. You got to remember that. You've cemented your legacy, but you're tarnishing your legacy by not helping that team win. You got to make people comfortable, not uncomfortable. When you're not comfortable, you can't do your best. You cannot do your best. I don't care what you're paying these guys. They're not going to perform the way you need them to. Baby, you got to take them by the hand. You can't drag them. You can't drag them. You got to take them by the hand. Put your hand out. Let them put their hand in yours and take you to the pinnacle. Because other than that, you tarnishing a good thing, Jerry. For real. I'm going to just kick it to you real. You are tarnishing a good thing. Micah Parsons deserves the money, anything that he asked for, because he performed on that field, whereas a lot of those players that was hand-picked and all of that ain't doing that performance. Their performance is not it. It's not it at all. But it's part of the reason part of that is you. But we going to get off Jerry. Jerry, hey, vinegar and honey. So now, let's get to this thing with Cam Newton. Started with Cam Newton and Gillie, right? They going back and forth. Gillie's silly. Gillie is, really representing for Philadelphia because he born and raised there. Philly, he came from a hard road, was a rapper, and, got blackballed out of the community for whatever reason. I don't know, but the truth is the truth. And his cousin Wallow, had a tumultuous childhood, went to prison, got his mind right. Got his mind right. Now they got a show called $1 Million Worth of Game, where they trying to help the young people, right? But Gillie is really silly, and he he a Philly fan, so the Philadelphia Eagles allow him to be around the Philly locker room. He even was there with them with the Super Bowl. He living out a show enough fantasy dream, right? So now, him and Cam Newton, which was a coordinator. Now, let's go back. Gillie ain't never played football in the NFL, right? Cam Newton played in the NFL. Was not fortunate enough to be able to win a Super Bowl. Boo. Let me tell you something. Most people who step on one of them fields that is owned by the NFL, they never get a Super Bowl ring. So you could be talented, baby. You could be fast. You could be charismatic. You could be able to talk to the media really well. But that ring, it's not going to be slipped on your finger. So Cam didn't make it to the Super Bowl. So they going back and forth. You ain't get no Super Bowl. You a mascot. You this. Now, here come another player, an ex-player, that's never, I don't even know if he's ever met Gillie before. But he know Cam. Both Heisman Trophy winners. Great, excellent in college. They got the Heisman, top award. Johnny Manziel jump in and say, Gillie, on sight, I'm slapping you because you talking about my boy Cam and you ain't never played football. First of all, Johnny, we don't threaten people, no matter what they're saying. Because, yeah, you got your boy back and all that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, because you could have said, hey, Gillie, you didn't play football, so you don't know how hard it is to get a Super Bowl ring. And that's my boy Cam. I appreciate if you cut the nonsense. Bam. Okay, that ain't too bad. But when you tell a man that you gonna pull up on him, I can't wait to see you, because soon as I see you, I'm gonna slap the brakes off you. He ain't say brakes or none of that. He said the real stuff. Johnny, we not out here trying to do all that, right? We're trying to get the young people to understand that no matter if a grown man has a problem, we ain't got to see it in the streets. We ain't got to be slapping nobody. We don't have to do that. We don't have to try to downgrade somebody else. That was two grown men going back and forth, right? Two grown men, right? You not giving either one of these dudes no money. And yeah, you can stick up for a Heisman winner. Y'all probably might be cool. I've seen some saying y'all was doing an interview together. So, hey, you say you got some type of relationship, if it's a business relationship or personal relationship. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We all got these business and personal relationships. But we not threatening nobody. We not trying to hit the streets. What you need to do is apologize to Gillie for disrespecting him. And then and ask for his forgiveness, because it didn't have anything to do with you. But then you jumped in an inappropriate manner and decided, oh, I'm going to fight for Cam. Cam don't need nobody to fight for him. Cam a big dude. I think he can handle it if it came to that, but that ain't where they trying to go. They just going back and forth talking stuff about each other, which we all do. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and share. later, YouTube.